Hey friends, welcome back. We're out in the barn today. We're getting ready to go out and get ready to pull our supers from our beehives. Before we do that, we're going to install some escape boards today. See if we can get the bees to move down into the brood chamber. So tomorrow when we come back we can pull them supers off and see how much honey we got. So come along, join me. We'll get suited up and we'll get out there and get working. Well, here we are. What I was saying earlier, plan today is I'm going to pull the top covers off of both hives, install the little bee escape modules, stick those in between my supers and my brood chamber. What that does is it separates the bees in the top from the queen down in the bottom from a pheromone level, and then the bees in the top, they kind of freak out and they say, oh crap, where's my queen? They go down through the little bee escape back down into the brood chamber, emptying out the super, and then you can come and pull the super and take it away. You don't have to mess with brushing all the bees off of it and stuff like that. I don't have extra top covers. So what I'm going to put in place is I have some Vivaldi boxes that I'm going to put on for winter this year, some quilt boxes. So I'm going to throw those on instead. Leave these escape boards on overnight. We'll come back tomorrow and then we'll check the supers. We'll see if they really worked. And then we'll pull the supers. We'll see how much honey we get out of them. So let's get started. So this is what we call hive number 2. Ooh, wasps in there. What are you guys doing in there? Intruders, get out of here. So this is hive number 2, like I was saying. And this is one of our experiments for the year. If you're a fan of our channel, you know that we love to experiment with all types of things. Whether it be gardening, beekeeping, tools, gadgets. And one of our experiments this year is this flow hive. We haven't had a whole lot of luck with it. In fact, I need to do probably a whole separate video on the flow hive and our experience with it this year, but the bees can just never seem to get ahead of the game on the flow hive. They have issues either trying to get it drawn out all the way, or, well, yep, we already have a little problem. My little bee escape device doesn't fit in my hole that I have in my top cover. So I guess we're gonna have to go resolve this problem. We'll be back. Well, I'm back. I started off with the jigsaw, correcting the hole so that the bee escape would fit properly. And in my head, these things were designed to work one way, but that wasn't right. They actually attach onto the back. They don't. See how they're kind of like raised up? I was picturing in my head that this piece would slide down through here, and that's really not how they go. They go this way. And what happens is the bees can go down through and out the sides, but they can't figure out a way to get back in because there's these little plastic clips inside there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this this flow hive off of here. I'm gonna put the bee escape board in here. And then this I just put on while I was away in the garage. This is my Vivaldi board, or my quilt box that I'm gonna use for the winter. Just so I retain some ventilation in the top overnight until tomorrow. The helicopter cruising around. We had a tornado come through here last night. Like 2 miles up the road I drove by when I was on my way home from work today, and there's a couple houses that got severely damaged. And a lot of trees that are down. So there's a lot of news choppers out today, just cruising all around and taking video for the 5 o'clock news. I started bringing an extra piece of plywood out with me, just so that when you pull frames off, you got something nice to set them on. A lot of bees in here. I'll probably pull this out. I set up some beetle traps earlier in the year using some little CD cases. They didn't really work. I don't think a single one caught a beetle. Right, this is the escape board. So let the bees down back into the brood chamber. All the bees that are left in the flow hive, which is quite a few in there, if you can see maybe. Not a massive amount, and this thing is not very heavy. My suspicion is it's empty. But we'll find out tomorrow when we come back. So they're going to need some type of cover that gives them ventilation. I'll throw this quilt box on. There's another screened inner box that goes right here. I'll come back out later and bring that. But for now, these guys, I can close them back up and see if this thing does its trick. So move over to this. They're all nice and calm. Same concept here in that we're going to pull this super, put the escape board down here. And then hopefully all of these bees will go down to be with the queen. Come back tomorrow, we can pull these supers off. And I'll put a ventilation box on the top here, just like I did on the last one. Oh, jeez. So same concept on this one. Bees can go down in, they can escape down into here, but they can't get back up. I think my smoker ran out while I was in the garage cutting the pieces of wood that I didn't need to cut. The sucker might have got me. Well, that about wraps things up for today, our project. It's part one of our collect the honey, close up the hives, get them ready for winter project. Got the bee escape boards installed. It took me a little while to figure out proper installation. It didn't come with any instructions, but I think we got that sorted out, got them installed. We're gonna come back tomorrow, check the supers. We'll see if a lot of the bees escaped down into the brood chamber like they're supposed to in theory. If they did, good. If they didn't, we're gonna pull the supers. We'll brush the bees off if we have to. And we'll see how much honey we ended up getting. A couple of them were pretty light. One of them was pretty heavy, so we'll see what we end up with. If you guys have any advice at all for me, I'm a new beekeeper, so if you're observing something, you got advice for me, constructive criticism, please let me know. Especially in regards to escape boards, if you've used them, if they've worked, if they've failed, let me know down in the comments. Same for the wasps. I pulled the top off of hive number 2 over here, and there was 3 wasps. Like they were attempting to infiltrate the hive to rob some honey from my bees. So, if you got any tips for that, something I should be doing other than let the bees fend for themselves, share it with me. Let me know. Alright, you guys have a good night. I'm going to go get some dinner, and we'll catch you guys on the next video.